we live? Here we live? We're live. Oh, hey, there you are. Hey, peace, Cosmic Kin. Thanks for joining me back here. DJ Dab, aka The Last Dragon. And I figured it's time to get back to being a little creative, but not too off the wall. I really just want to dabble into some of the latest news. I don't know if you've heard it, but Mother's Day's just passed, and the Matrix, if you look up what the word Matrix means mother. So I hope you had a wonderful Mother's Day, and that you and your Matrix did well. Even if you don't have your mother around, I hope that you were guided through the DNA she's passed on to you, and the spiritual energy that you now encompass living as her offspring. Be proud of that. No matter where you're at in this time and space, let your heart be very, very, thankful for just being birthed. Because without the Matrix, your mother, you would not be here. Now, you're also like, why am I holding a Rubik's Cube? Well, it's a matrix, right? This is a beautiful color-coded matrix. And matrices, this one is very, very special. The reason why is because it's under a special formula, which gives it the ability to be solved with a special formula, okay? And when I say solved, I mean get all the white squares, all the green squares, all the yellow squares, and all these dang blue squares and red squares together so they all match up. Now, you think I'm about to do that right now. Well, no, I'm not. I'm still practicing the algorithm. The algorithm is actually rather simple to solve this thing. Once you get what you see here on the bottom of, or see on the screen, is Rubik's Cube's white cross, this going here and this going here. And you make sure that the color opposite of the white cross is matching its color on the opposite side of the cube. Once you solve this part right here, okay, and all your white pieces are lined up beautifully, you're ready to do the algorithm called boom. I call it the R clockwise, top clockwise spin. So you go R clockwise, top clockwise, right? Then you go R counterclockwise, top counterclockwise. All right, and then you do it again. You say R clockwise, and now look what I have. Actually, I've just created the perfect cross on the Rubik's Cube. But anyway, that's part of the formula for solving the Rubik's Cube. And if you notice, though, I haven't even moved any of my white pieces out of place. All I've really done is just make the white cross look better. But actually, the red is still... Ooh, excuse me. No, I'm wrong. So yeah, I have destroyed the perfect white cross that you need, but at least I know what formula I was starting with, and I know where to continue. So now that I see that this piece is moved over here, I would continue with R, R, and then counterclockwise, and then counterclockwise, okay? And what I'm doing is I'm moving the corners over along the outside of the cube until they reach their corner, which would be down here or down here. It's a formula, it's an algorithm that is called, I don't know, we're going to name it right now. It's a sympathetic pattern. And this sympathetic pattern first has to have certain key factors in place before that pattern can even be utilized. Remember, the white cross at the bottom is how you must start the pattern, okay? Now, the synchronistic pattern being shown in this cube is also what we can equate to our fourth dimension of reality, which a lot of us take for granted. A lot of us see the passage of time and things being, limited in their value based on how long they can be around. Like you go buy some beautiful flowers in your garden, and they might only be around for 2 weeks. You might go buy a basil plant and you start to kill it like I have, but actually I'm bringing it back to life today. And you think it's only around for a limited time. No, this plant can last for a long amount of time. It to become timeless, actually. Again, what I'm about to get into is the fact that there's a form of magic that most people have forgotten. And it's six-sided, just like this cube. This cube has 6 sides. Not only does it have 6 sides, it has 9 squares separating those 6 sides. So it's the equality born into the 4th dimension of time. It's equality born in the 4th dimension of time. Now, if you were to go onto my IG page or my Twitter page, you might see that I've posted up a sign similar to what's on my Saturn Gods t-shirts. By the way, Saturn Gods t-shirts, you can go grab those. The link is in the description below. If you like this color, this is my favorite gold. Gold is a refined, element, and black on gold. I always considered black the new gold, gold the new black, however you want to flip that. But I'm getting off subject here. So a 6-sided subject, okay? Matter. Remember when people said they used to put a hex on somebody? You could hex somebody. I'm gonna hex you with my Rubik's Cube. Or I'm gonna hex you because your aura is 6-sided. Your aura, your crystalline entity that, is also in harmony with the sun, is a 6-sided figure here in this 4th dimensional reality that you move in. Now, other entities beyond the 4th dimension can manipulate the 4th dimension for you, or with you, or as you, however you want that to actually be. Your connection to 5 dimensions is a level of perception. Like I explained before, that perception is magic. You're understanding that there are 4 dimensions, which is our knowledge, our wisdom, our our understanding to our culture and our freedom here in this dimension. But once you get to 5, you're doing your power and your refinement upon the lower dimension. So here I am a 5th dimensional being, and this cube is in the 4th dimension. Now I can turn the cube this way, and I can turn the cube this way, right? The cube still perceives that it's possibly a cube, right? But now I've given it another set of corners, the false corner here, right? And look what I've actually done. I've brought it out into the 5th dimension. Now, it's a 5th dimensional object working in the 5th dimension with me as a 5th dimensional being. Now, that might not make sense. I hope you actually just followed me. But what shape have I turned this into? I've turned this into basically triangles. You have one triangle pointing up, one triangle pointing down, one triangle pointing left, one triangle pointing right. And you have one triangle pointing into an angle, another triangle pointing into an angle. So what I've done is I've given this its 6 sides out of its let's count that again, because it already was 6-sided. So now it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, times 2 is 12, because you have 12 of those. Times another one is 24. 36. So you have 36 here now, sided object. Did that make sense? I just took a 6-sided object and turned it into a 36-sided object in the 5th dimension. So it's no longer bound by its 4th dimensional shape. So therefore, its perception of the 5th dimension shows off there's more to it than meets the eye, right? Okay, let's get back to its 4th dimension now. It's back in 4 dimensions. Okay, so that's just relative me giving you an idea of, you don't have to solve the colors on this cube right now. We're not going to work on that. That is a special formula, but just remember it's R, and then counterclockwise, counterclockwise. For the other side, it's the same thing. You do a full clockwise rotation, and you do another full clockwise rotation on the top, then you counterclockwise, and you counterclockwise. Okay? But that's the formula to solve this thing very succinctly and very fast. We're not solving the cube for the colors. We're solving the cube for its spatial properties. And as of right now, if you're following me, you know, the Saturn gods, even down to what I just explained to you with the planet Saturn, and a lot of the mysticism out there snatches, you know, the natural elements and the planets and gives them, you know, a coating of good or evil based on, you know, a man's perception of at that moment. And that perception molds now a bunch of other people's perceptions. Well, come back. Let's get back to the reality of the fact that Saturn is a planet. And again, I've explained that every planet wears a crown. So yes, a planet is a higher entity. It is conscious. It is very much aware and self-aware on different planes. Just like I explained to you what this cube can be done to this cube. I turned it into a higher dimensional being. And it's still there in the same form that it was before now, right? But there's just another place that it can be turned into by just a little bit of changing of its perception upon itself. Okay? That is what goes on with the planetary structures. Saturn is a very powerful planet. It has on the top of it this shape. Okay? Why would it have this kind of shape formulaic be happening on its surface as a storm? Well, its vibrational state is that of a hex or a human's aura. Therefore, I've explained this before, and I'll drop it so quickly again that if you catch it, you catch it. But the key to leaving this planet's birth cycle of the sun is to figure out how to go through the gate in Saturn. And then you will not be coming back here as a solar-born being anymore. And you can travel the galaxies. Simple and plain like that. These are simple technologies that Elohim have been using forever. So, therefore, if you want to tap into your higher self, your higher dimension, you really have to do a small step, which is visualization at a higher level than what you see yourself as. If you can only see yourself here in the fourth dimensional flesh, moving left and right, moving up and down, forward and backwards, then you don't perceive that in this other dimension, in the fifth, okay, you're still back in your mother's womb somewhere. Okay? You never got out of the womb yet. And at some point, you're already in a grave, rotting, okay? And then in between here, in all of that, is your fifth dimensional state. And if you can get that concept wrapped around what you really are outside of the trapped confines of a four-dimensional body, you will begin to see that this perception of magic I just told you about, where you can hex things, you know, sharing a hex is really just telling somebody's aura to change. You go and you change their six-sided crystal, their quartz, their internal quartz, you know. And again, you know, I'm not one to even tout having to wear crystals. If you have to wear crystals, and that's a part of your magical system, and it seems to have kept you sane, by all means, stick to it. But higher entities here that don't need to be caught up in material objects to attain and retain their six-sided vibratorial state, welcome. I'm freeing you from those people that would tell you you need those things, and I'm starting you off on a better path for your godship, okay? And you're going to realize at some point that you are the 6x9. You are the cube here. And then you're also 36 object out in the other realms of modality. And they all are here with you. So therefore, if you are, you know, feeling low vibration that day, today, yesterday, Maybe a month you've been feeling low vibration. You're not the low vibration that you feel. You can recall when you weren't feeling a low vibration. You just want to move closer to that place. And how do you do that? Again, a lot of things are about visualizing what you want to be. Now, a lot of people want to be rich, wealthy, rule the world. I'm going to tell you right now, in the state that I'm at, I don't want to do any of that. I can do that right here in my brain, right here in my reality. Rule this world is something that's already happening for me. Every word that comes out of my mouth causes the wind to blow or a solar flare to spark itself. Okay? I am dark antimatter's technology, manifested in its fullness of being. Therefore, what on this planet must I long for? Does that make sense? But I do love and enjoy myriad of things. I love eating. I love, the warmth of a human being's hand in my hand. I love the smile from another face. I love the encouraging words that people can spread and say to each other. I love the value of somebody with a gift of perpetual motion that can keep you full of energy. I love the, truth be told, ability to just have no thoughts. And these are things that I kind of really cherish. Now, when it comes to money and objects, I already have an idea of what has to be done to help in such a powerful way that, anybody listening to the sound of my voice, that, I'm actually going to be very, simple with it. I just don't want to give my secret special weapon away. And it's still a special weapon if you followed me throughout the years where I talk about something that I have in my back pocket. Well, I don't even worry about the fact that, I've shared it with a bunch of people. I'd like to see somebody give it a shot. In fact, I want to see somebody give it a shot so there's some competition out there before I release it and have the help to get it fully done correctly. Basically, I know how to create a fifth dimensional being in the software. And that's kind of what I think a lot of the world is missing, is more fifth dimensional, loving in the software, because our software is what we are really attached to these days. And, believe you me, I know very well, having grown up in this digital age, that a lot of people date their software and they won't admit it. And that might sound weird to you, but I know a lot of people have never really, I would say, been able to get out of the grips of what social media has transformed our social behaviors into. And that is another plane of existence altogether. That's like taking this cube, right? And just taking a small slice, like that one column and those 3 rows, and pulling that off, and sitting that on the table and being like, have fun. Because you're only getting one face of the cube. But you know what? For right now, you see a lot of colors, so you're having fun. But this little box that we play around with, this extra dimension of a lower dimension here in the software, is a great place to raise other vibrations. So I hope I've raised your vibration a little bit if you are on the path and not just contemplating being on the path, an actual practitioner of the path. So check out, your own Rubik's Cube, your own internal matrix. Remember that, you need knowledge, wisdom, understanding, culture and freedom, power and refinement, and equality to create your perfect hex, to create your perfect spell, to create your perfect vibratorial state of your higher self, your bigger being, your God entity that lives in you. To not feel like that being is in competition with anything else around you, you must come to an equality state. And then 7 is mastery of that. 7 just allows you the next higher up of understanding the body now, because you'll want to understand why your gut gets irritated, why your heart flutters, why your shoulder twinges, why there's a fluttering in your left ear, why there's a fluttering in your right ear, why your eyes twitch, why you might have a swirly, wishy sound going around your head sometimes, why you might, feel like a light feeling come over your entire chest. I mean, there's a myriad, there's a smorgasbord of bodily effects that you aren't paying attention to, that are psychic indicators and deep gods in the body working, either with you or trying to remind you to work with them. And now, I know I listen to a lot of other, lectures and spiritual people. So, people are in different understandings and paths as far as like ancestors are concerned. But I think I just put it into perspective for you, my dear friend. If you want to tap into your ancestor, don't look for them inside this cube. Please. Please, 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 please. They're not inside this cube. Your ancestor is somewhere in this other alternate dimension where you can be more than what you appear to be. And on that note, be the 6'9", be the equality born, and be a blessing to somebody else so they can be more. Peace.